Tell me your
So
story.
I started using the phrase, Hawkmon Digivolve to Optimus Prime.
Hi, I'm Elise Baughman. Welcome to Anime Adventures. I'm the voice of Pan from Dragon Ball GT, and I am with Neil Kaplan.
I'm not the voice of anybody from Dragon Ball GT.
He is not, but he has so many other voices.
Yeah,
Give us one of them.
Oh, all right. I played a less depressed Eeyore, better known as Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime. I love it. In Transformers, Robots in Disguise.
That's right. We got the title from the song. We got a good title.
Yeah, you got a good title. And this is the show where I bring you interviews with voice actors and other people as I travel to conventions and to recording studios. So I think we should go straight into it. Let's talk about some of the characters.
You don't want to just waste time talking about like recipes or
You know,
interesting stories in the news?
I would love to, but no.
Okay.
I'm going to keep him focused.
Okay.
Good
Good luck with that.
I know, I did a panel with him. Oh, we should say we're at Hub City Comic-Con in Lubbock, Texas. So,
Yes.
Optimus Prime.
Yes.
And I know everybody knows him, but here's a pretty picture.
Okay.
So, you didn't actually go in to interview for Optimus, interview. I'm an
That's
actor.
so
and I
adorable.
Isn't it? I'm
That's
even
so
an actor.
Cute.
You did not actually go audition for Optimus Prime.
Nope.
Tell us that story. You went to audition for someone else.
I
another
auditioned
character.
for a couple of the two villains and one Autobot. So I read the Decepticons. I read Gas Skunk and Slapper. Yes, those were actual names of Decepticons in 2001's Transformers: Robots in Disguise. So I read those two, and I also read an Autobot by the name of X-Brawn, and the description of the character was a Southern SUV. So, you know, the Southern dialect is, as we've already gone over.
Yes,
You know, I can
but I
go
like
ahead.
this.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
right. It's not a Texan, it's a Southerner. So the R's barely make any sort of appearance, you know. So anyway, I did it, and you see, I live in Los Angeles, where the SUVs basically drive from, you know, Wilshire Boulevard to Sunset Boulevard. So they don't do no SUVing, really, except for carrying the brats and the toys. But an SUV in the South probably drives off-road a lot more, so you get
Yes.
rocks kicking up in the undercarriage.
I do know that.
Which
I am
is
from the South.
which is gonna give you a little bit more texture. So I decided, you know, he's Southern, but go ahead and layer on a little bit of some texture to it, the character. So I went ahead and read for X-Brawn. And on my way out the door, I look in the control room, and they actually had a freeze frame, and I don't know if it was from Robots in Disguise or if it was from, you know, G1, as the kids call it. That's the first generation, the original
Okay.
Transformers. Yeah, I
Yes.
saw the confusion roll from your
You
eyes
did?
to the back of your head
you-
and bounce back.
Are
Yeah.
you reading subtext?
You scanned your brain for what is that like
I thought I knew my Transformers.
is that Formula One? Is that like racing? No, that's the professional fans call the first generation G1.
Okay. Okay, thank you for that education. Now I am a student of his.
Anyway, so I said
Yeah.
I literally could hear, you know, Peter Cullen's voice in my head, and I said, "Hey, I think I can do that. Can I read for it?" And the director looks at me and goes, "Nah, Neil, we got plenty. Don't worry about it." What? Okay. So, flash forward a couple of weeks, and I get a phone call from that same director. And he says, "Neil, you know that Southern thing you did? Can you do that without the Southern dialect?" And it's like, wait, can I do a voice that I did without a dialect that I layered on top of it? Yeah, I think I can.
I got this.
Why? Well, the producers thought you sounded like Optimus Prime, so they want to offer you the role. We don't have enough time to audition you, so what we're going to do is we're going to record the first episode, and if they like you, we'll keep you. So it's like I was Optimus Prime and could not tell anyone because it's like, well, with my luck, you know, I'll do the first episode and they'll find somebody better and I'll be out. And everybody would be like, well, but you said you were Optimus Prime. So I didn't tell anybody. And then of course it started leaking out, which was really interesting because I didn't consider, the show premiered Saturday morning, September 8th, 2001. Mm-hmm. And so I really didn't believe that I got the part until Sunday morning, September 9th. It's like, I guess they decided to keep me. But, so fans were on the internet, Transformer fans, and they were very concerned. Because at that point, I was best known for
Hawkmon on Digimon.
Ah, yes.
Which does not sound very much like Optimus Prime, you see.
No.
And they were very concerned that they were going to watch a television program with transforming robots, in which I would say, Autobots, transform and roll out.
Now, that being aside, I liked the doubt. I loved the doubt.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of like being doubted sometimes, especially when I know that I got this. So, I ended up with a phrase that I've said at conventions, and eventually a fan made me some artwork to go along with it, and I now have that print with me at conventions.
Is it here?
Yes.
Where is it? I see it. It's right in front of me. I know.
It's
well,
okay.
I gotta have a few blonde moments where they kick me out of the club. Yeah.
I don't believe that for 1 second, but it's the same phrase. It's the same phrase I say to my wife. You're lucky you're pretty.
Oh my gosh, I'm kicking you out of the interview. You're so much trouble. No, I'm really not.
I'm kind of a jerk, but
but if I say that, I can see he really would go, okay, I'm leaving
See
now.
ya!
Like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, but back to the story.
Yes, tell me your
So
story.
I started using the phrase Hawkmon Digivolve to Optimus Prime. To kind of show, no, I don't need 4 minutes to go ahead and transition between those two. I know them very well.
I can make that happen.
I can do that, yeah.
this.
And, sorry, no special effects. I get doubted sometimes.
Oh, I bet people do think you have special effects added, right?
Yeah, the one time that really happened on a predominant level was when I played Gluto. He was a henchman in the season of Power Rangers Time Force, and it actually bummed me out. And a lot of times I wouldn't tell people because but they're listening, they're not hearing me. Yeah, they're hearing my performance, but they're not hearing my voice. They're pitching it down, they're changing it, and it's like I take pride in what I can do. It's like, for instance, when we did Transformers. If you watch Robots in Disguise, readily available on YouTube, you will hear the Autobots and the Decepticons all have like a metallic effect overlaid on their voice. And the engineer one time told me he used 10% of the effect for me that he used it for everybody else.
Really?
Because there was sort of a natural metallic thing going on in what I was doing. So once he laid that on, it got the effect without going overboard.
Okay.
Yeah. But I literally did a game called Heroes of the Storm with
Tychus Findlay, because he's a big space marine.
No, he doesn't sound like that. But Tychus sounds like this. It's about time. So the lower end of my voice. So we're doing Heroes of the Storm because he got ported over from StarCraft over there, and they wanted to do a second version, which was it was an infested version. So it was after the events of StarCraft 2, and he was part Zerg, which is an alien creature, and we were discussing it. And the engineer still had his finger on the talkback button, and he says to the director, "Now we're going to be putting an effect in post, right?" And I went, "Whoa, hold on a second, what?" He goes, I was just asking if we were going to layer in an effect in post. I said, "Why don't you wait and hear what I do first?" I literally it was like.
Did you say it like that?
Close.
Why don't you wait and see?
Yeah,
what
it was
I
like
do
the
first?
gauntlet had been laid down. It's like,
Yeah.
Yo, brother mother. Yeah, you better listen to what I do first. So I did this thing, you know, start out as Tychus, and then the infestation would sort of take over, and he'd turn into something along these lines. I did that live. I did that all on mic.
And did they do anything in post? Or
Oh,
did they
no.
okay, so they kept... And did
No,
the
they kept
engineer
me.
go, oh, okay, so I see.
Pretty much, like right off the bat, it was like,
Oh,
and the
I
director
got
was all,
this.
okay. We did that, and I lost my voice, and that was the day that I found out.
That Donald Duck. Very unusual the sound comes from your vocal cords.
Oh, do you want
Comes
to
from
translate
here.
that?
What?
It doesn't come from your vocal cords, in case
They
you
hurt.
couldn't understand. Well, I don't know.
What do you mean you didn't understand? What is that? I speak English. I speak English, please you. I mean, what do you want from me? Can you speak Dutch?
I can.
No.
I understand what you're saying.
That's
I
because
can't
I'm
do it.
speaking English. You speak English.
I speak English.
Yes,
Teach me how to
so
speak
do
Dutch.
I. Yeah, right. Wait,
What?
Ready?
Ready.
Put your hands like this, because it's going to blow your mind.
Okay, I'm ready.
I thought you were homeless at the same time.
What?
I give you several dots at the same
Oh,
time.
oh my goodness.
That's harmony. You know that? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
So yes, I do a chorus of ducks.
Wow.
Yeah. You try that if it's so easy.
Well,
Yeah, a buddy of mine is actually one of the voices of Donald Duck, and
Oh, really?
as far as I know, he can't do that. Yeah, it was really interesting
Snap.
because he told me that he booked it, and at first, like for about 15 seconds, I was kind of upset that wait, I didn't audition for that, and then he did his Donald, and I was no longer jealous because his
really?
blew mine out of the water. I mean, I'm good, but I sound like Donald's like macho cousin, you know, because it's a little deeper than Donald's is. So, you know, I mean, it works for like, you know, non-Disney folk, but for Disney folk, it's like, no, that's not. So it was literally like, as soon as I heard him, any element of jealousy was just gone, because I said, if I got into a duck
Really?
battle with him, he would have wiped the floor with me.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, it was wonderful. It was genius, and I tell you what, whenever you don't book a character, if you can walk away loving what the person who booked it did, that's like, you know, that's the best kind of I didn't get it.
Yes.
Well, no, it's the
Agreed.
second best kind of I didn't get it.
What's
the best kind
first?
of you got something else. You know, kind of like Optimus Prime. I didn't get X-Brawn.
But I got Optimus Prime.
Yeah, so that was
Yeah.
okay. Right.
Yeah, that's okay.
But that happens. That happens a lot of times. That's one of the things I try to explain to my students.
Students.
Or students. But
I'm
as
gonna be thinking about that.
I
all
try
week.
to explain to them that when you're auditioning, you're not necessarily only auditioning for the role. You're auditioning for the project. And it is possible that they may hear something that works for them for another character. You know, with my auditions, I almost try to draw a circle so they can figure out, okay, he does this, he does this, he does this, and my guess is most everything in between.
So what do you mean draw a circle?
So I'll do a couple of different takes of a character.
Okay.
You know, like let's say Optimus Prime. I'm auditioning for Optimus Prime, so I'm reading for a new show. I'll give them sort of the younger version like this.
Yes.
You know, Autobots transform and roll out. Then I might give them something a little closer to Peter Cullen, how he sounds now. So Autobots transform and roll out. Or I might do that thing that some of the people who do their version of Peter Cullen. Autobots transform and roll out.
Okay.
You know,
so that
so-
they see several versions. or
Yeah,
hear
some
several
different
versions.
shades, or like for instance, I booked a video game called BioShock Infinite, and I went in And the first thing I do when I'm doing something new is, do you have a reference? Do you have the audition that you liked so I can hear what you hired? You know, because I don't remember everything. I went into my agent's office, I read it, I left.
Yes.
You know, so they go, no, we don't have a reference. Do you not remember what you did? And I said, can I see the script? They showed me the script. They said, I would have done one of two things for sure and probably a third take. Well, what are the two things you would do? I said, well, this is a regular guy.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I said, well, for most regular guys, I'll give you like a 160-pound version and a 280-pound version. Okay, what's that? And so I read the script and gave them the 165-pound version, you know, which is regular guy, pitched up just a little bit, a little lighter and by nature. And then I gave them, you know, the larger guy. Went ahead and added some bass and a little bit of weight to the guy and kind of had a different timbre and a different energy when I approached it. And the director literally said, okay, today we're going to do 160 and I'm going to bring you back next week to do 280 on a different character.
Oh, really? Oh, interesting.
It's like I was working on a new anime a couple of weeks ago.
Called, or can you say?
Called You'll Find Out When It Comes out on Netflix.
We can't wait to find out.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Yay.
I play kind of a mentor-y type, Ben Kenobi type kind of a character. It's kind of fun. But there was a scene. They had done some ADR. They did group ADR before my session, and they didn't finish everything for some reason. So because the director's a friend of mine, I said, "What do you need?" You know, because I got my stuff done in plenty of time. He said, "Really?" I said, yeah. He said, "Okay, man 1." So we go to the man 1 lines. And I see like the man 2 and the man 4 are highlighted, so it's okay, you need man 1 and man 3. So do all of man 1, and then I said, do you need me to do 4? Really? I said, dude, come on, it's just a couple of lines. You hire me, you pay union rates, you get 3 voices anyway. I know you need it. You know, so I played 2 guys in the same crowd. I had one episode, and I wish I could remember what show it was on, but it was definitely an anime. And I had 2 characters that I had no idea until later that they had a scene together.
Oh, really? So you were talking to yourself?
Yeah, and it's like, and you watch it, and it's like, those don't sound like the same guy.
That's amazing.
Cool. Yeah, that's always kind of
That's pretty
funnish.
cool.
Yeah.
Which, let's talk about when you started doing voiceover. You were so young. Coming soon, part 2 of my conversation with Neil.